I bow to pure soul within you, everybody. Jai Sachidanand. Jai Sachidanand. This is spiritual science of Dada Bhagwan, to whom we say Dada Bhagwan is a enlightened person. He got self-realization in 1958. And Dada Bhagwan, he says that inside enlightened soul is a Dada Bhagwan. And I know, I experience that soul, so I am knower or say Gnani. I am an experienced person of soul. So physical body is total separate from him. He remain all the time separate from mind, speech and body. And he got this knowledge. This is spiritual science. This is not a religion or not any rituals we have to do over here. This is pure understanding, but understanding towards reality, absolutism. This is not a new religion, or this is not we are worshipping some god. We have to change our religion and we have to worship new god. He says this is not such a sect, not such a religion, but this is nothing but spiritual science. And just like in our worldly things, the physical science is there. Suppose we want to make water, dirty water, to clean. So we are using some filter, 1 or 2 or 3 types, 4 types, and make pure, clean for drinking level. So we are purifying water, but still we cannot know or we cannot get hydrogen or oxygen from water. But some scientist is there, he will say this is water, but really it is made up of hydrogen and oxygen, 2 elements. So here worldly things we are observing, we don't know why we have to suffer worries, stress, tensions, some insult feeling, some greed, ego. Because of these things or worldly relations, husband, wife, children, parents. So this relation, why this occurs? This is also combination of element only. But spiritual scientists can see, can know and can separate these elements. Without knowing what are the eternal element, we are just knowing this is dirty water, we want to make clean for drinking purpose. But physical science says that if a dirty water is there, if you analyze by chemical test, and if you separate 2 elements from dirty water, hydrogen or oxygen, they are dirty or remain pure? What you will say? They remain pure. Just like dirty water has both elements remain pure condition. Very similarly in this worldly phases, pure soul and matter, our body is made up of 2 eternal elements. And in that eternal element, we don't know about what is eternal element, what is matter, physical element. Still our worldly relation or work or worldly physical, everything, actions, everything is going on. But due to ignorance, we are feeling worries, stress. Due to divorceship, we are having sufferings, so many type of sufferings. Then attachment, hatred, anger, pride, deceit, greed. So we always want to come out from all these enemies like anger, pride, deceit, greed, attachment, hatred. We don't like that, but we don't know how to come out from that enemies. When some spiritual scientist, if we realize this eternal element and we remain in the stage of eternal element, then automatically this anger, pride, deceit, everything, attachment, hatred, automatically they will go away. Just like a total impure water, but if we do chemical analysis, hydrogen and oxygen, they remain pure state. Very similarly, pure soul within us is always pure, but we don't know about that soul. And in this world, there are so many religions, so many sects in that religions, and every religion, they are saying we have to do something to get happiness. We have to do something for concentration. We have to do something for worshipping God. We want to merge with God, or we want to follow the God. We want to reach to the God. But how, we don't know. There are so many paths in this world. And sometimes this is also one of the path to reach to the God, or say reach to the soul. There are so many paths in this world, but in that path we have to worship whatever God we are believing. We have to worship something, we have to chant mantra, we have to do some name of that God, we have to chant that name, or we have to do some meditation or some yoga, or we have to leave something, we have to adopt something. We have bad things we have to leave, we have to adopt good things, and slowly our goal is to reach absolute God. There are sometimes when spiritual scientist is there is a very easy way to separate element from dirty water. That physical scientist can do that two elements separate. Here is the spiritual scientist can separate pure soul and other element in this body by spiritual knowledge, spiritual science. And once we achieve that experience of who am I, what is pure soul, where is God, how to realize God, and by spiritual science we can reach to that stage, where is God and how to worship real God and how to merge with real God. So this is not any religion, but this is also spiritual science. And in that very fundamental things, we must know in this world, who am I and who is the doer behind all this happening. Because sometimes we are believing the God is creator of this world, God is doing so and so. But we have so many doubts, why tsunami, earthquake, world war, this terrorism, why this happening in this world? So many people has worries, stress, so many disease in body. Why this is happening in this world? We are believing that God is doer, but again question is arise, why God is doing so and so? We don't get any correct answer. That's why we are always having incomplete solution, and that gives us some suffocation or stress or sufferings. So we want to come out from all this suffering and suffocation. We must know what is reality in this world, how this happening in this world, what is eternal element, how to know, how to experience all this eternal element. And Dada Bhagwan, he is in search of that things. Who is the God? Where is God? What God is doing? How to experience that God? Who is governing this world? What is karma? How it is getting charged? How we can stop karma and get salvation? Everything he was thinking for childhood of this life, and he says, from so many life I am thinking for what is reality, why in this world, what is correct things, what is real things, and how to achieve that real things. Lord Krishna, Lord Mahavir, Lord Ram, Lord Shiva, they achieved something beyond our intellect, beyond our ego, beyond our worldly people can reach that things. That's why we are praying as them as a God. So, who is real God and what He has achieved thing? And Dada Bhagwan, he is also searching for that. What is universal truth? He got self-realization in 1958. What is universal truth? And he got this experience of pure soul as well as all eternal element of this world, how karma is getting charged, how to stop karma, how to get ultimate liberation, everything he got realization in 1958. And from him I got this knowledge in 1971, age of 17 only. I was studying engineering in India, Bombay. But after getting this knowledge, I feel inner happiness. Then I finished my engineering 4 years. Then I started job for 3-4 years. Then started business, and 1, 2, 3 business I was running. Still, at the inner side, I can remain in awareness of pure soul, and I have no stress, no worries, no suffering of these worldly problems. So, after getting this knowledge, we feel all the time inner happiness, and that is our goal of life. And if we reach to that stage, that is our goal of life. How can we reach to that stage? So, in these worldly religions, they are trying to explain us or giving some way, or they are showing some to do something to get inner happiness or permanent happiness. And we are always trying to do something to get inner happiness or peace. Here also same thing, but here we are not showing you to do anything, but this is pure understanding path. To understand what is real, what is relative, how to solve our worldly problems with understanding only. And once you get proper understanding, if you solve your worldly problems, automatically you feel inner happiness. So this is special session kept for all these Westerners. So we will do question and answer, so you can have more understanding how to come out from this worldly problem and how to achieve our real goal of life. So we'll do some question and answer, and then you want to ask any question, you can ask more about the spiritual science.
Thanks for being here and sharing. The first part, my experience of inner happiness is always fluttering, like you were saying. So back to your original question, what is permanent, what is temporary? It seems to me everything is evolving, so nothing is permanent except for that constant evolution. So you pull happiness from your soul, and what is your definition of happiness, and is your idea or experience of it always evolving? Is your realization of soul evolving, and do you experience realization of your soul, or are you coming directly from soul, just being soul?
See, everything is changing. That matter we will clear first. See, there is a eternal element in this world. An eternal element to whom we can say this is eternal element, its mass it is matter remain constant. Its property are permanent and constant. But phases of eternal element are temporary. It is ever changing. So one thing, it is eternal element, its property are eternal, permanent, everlasting, its mass or matter remain constant, it is permanent and everlasting. But the phases of matter are temporary. Just like a gold, it is permanent. But earring or bangle or everything are temporary. Ornaments are temporary. So, but gold is permanent. The qualities of the gold are permanent, but phases of gold are temporary. So now soul is permanent, phases of soul are temporary, and in temporary we are believing that this temporary thing will give me permanent happiness. That is our wrong belief. See, it's just like a gold is, suppose living gold is living. So gold will think that I am now bangle, they will make me ring and I will be happy. So, but really ring is also temporary, bangle is also temporary. Then ring will think they will make me a necklace, I will be happy. That is also temporary. But really, when you realize you are really gold in bangle and ring and earring, these are the temporary phases. You are really gold and your own property is happiness. When gold know that I am really gold and I have property of happiness, then he becomes happy. But when he believes that I am necklace or I am ring and I am bangle, he never become happy because this form is going to change. Just like you are believing that I am human, she is a woman, I am man, this is my children, this is my wife, this is my brother, this is my friend. But these are the phases of element. And if you believe that I will get some happiness from these phases, you never get permanent happiness from phases. Because phases are temporary, it's going to change never permanent. And your property, your own matter is permanent. When you realize, oh, I'm really soul, and these are relations, are the phases, then you will get permanent happiness. You understood?
Yes. And then how do you pull happiness from your soul?
Yeah, it doesn't require. If you stop taking happiness from relative things, you will automatically get happiness from real thing. Because this is our mistake. We are borrowing happiness from other temporary things. Because your soul is full of bliss, soul is full of infinite happiness. It doesn't require happiness. In the present, suppose there is a big block of ice over here. So we should get coolness from ice, or if we remain in the near to ice, we will get coolness. If you go far away, then you will not get any happiness, coolness from ice. If you come towards near to the ice, you will feel happiness, you will feel coolness. Just like if you says, I am man, what is your name?
Brendan.
So if you say, I am Brendan, so you are away from ice, you feel hotness. When you say, I am pure soul, you are coming towards soul. So your soul is full of bliss, you will feel automatically full of happiness. So experience, it is not required to get happiness from soul. We should leave happiness from worldly things. We should not take happiness from worldly things. And we should come towards soul. We should come nearer soul. We should reach to stage of soul. Automatically we will feel happiness.
Is that what the grace of Gnan is bringing us to? That realization?
Yeah, exactly. When in Gnan ceremony, we are bringing you from all worldly things and bringing you in the stage of pure soul. And automatically you will start feeling happiness. But one thing, what happened, we have taken so many loan from so many things, we have to repay the things. That is our fault. We have to finish that fault. And once we are not going to take loan from other things and we will finish all debit, then we remain permanent, we stage of permanent happiness. Understood?
Yes. And I'm an accountant and I see the debits and credits. But the repaying the debts, I just don't, I guess repaying all this in this one lifetime, that's a huge general entry. You know,
શું કહે છે?
many pages for me, with all the lifetimes. So this grace is, in a sense, burns that karma.
ના ના, એ પૈસાદારની ફ્રેન્ડશિપ કરો ને તો થોડું મળી જાય આપણને કૃપા.
If you make friendship with rich people, then it is automatically fulfilled.
દાદા ભગવાનની ફ્રેન્ડશિપ કરવાની, એ રિચેસ્ટ પર્સન ઇન ધ વર્લ્ડ છે.
Okay.
So you will
Thank you.
get grace of Dada Bhagwan to finish your all debts. So many people are, they are now debt is finished, so they feel happiness all the time. Roshana, Ele.
At the very beginning of my journey, about 4.5 years ago, right after my mother passed away, I was looking for answers, and was very gravitated to spiritual books. And about a week after I started investigating it, I had this incredible holy instant of having the veil of separation removed, and it was incredible. It was 5 days of heaven on earth. There was, I have 3 kids and my husband, and nobody could push any buttons. There were no buttons to push. It was peace and incredible unconditional love like I had never experienced. And it lasted 5 days. It was something that I've been trying to my whole quest is to get back to that space once again and actually be able to move within it and outside of it with full ability. And I've been trying to capture that experience again, even remotely, and I can't seem to do it. And I meditate every day, and I read, at least 2, 3, 4 hours. I really set aside time for myself to really find that space again, and I cannot seem to do it. So I'd love some advice.
Yeah.
Thank you.
See, sometimes what happens, due to scientific circumstantial evidence, some atoms get settled, you feel inner happiness. Just like a cloudy atmosphere is there, and due to some air rush or some wind, automatically some cloud may disperse and sun ray if you feel. Just like sometimes this is happening. Some coverings are breaking away and we feel inner happiness. But after that again cloud will come, your happiness will total under cover stage. It may happen. But one thing I will explain you, this happiness is not our goal. It is goal, but it may not come. But we must know real knowledge. So why this covering is coming? If we remove all coverings, due to our fault these coverings are coming. Layers on soul, they are coming due to faults, wrong understanding. If we remove wrong understanding totally, then in future there will not be any new covering, and your happiness remain constant and permanent. So see, we feel, we want, I want some happiness. Let the covering is there, but this covering will total covered all happiness. So we should remove all these coverings, and then that stage will come again. That what you experience 5 days, the stage will come again and it will remain forever.
Excellent, thank you.
Stoet Peter. Your question? I have heard that the Christian priest close to the
I've heard that Christian priests close the third eye through baptism, and I wanted to know how to open it again.
How to open?
The
Third eye again.
Agna Shaka?
Third eye.
Yeah. Is it true that they do that?
But see, there are two eyes, this is. And beyond that, there is a third eye. You can visualize inner thing, permanent thing. By these eyes, we can visualize are the temporary things. And by inner eyes, we can visualize permanent things, but permanent eternal elements. And that can be possible. Here you will get that understanding of inner vision. He says, my name is Peter. So just we had some conversation. So who am I? If you find out, and if you keep that awareness, then same thing you can visualize, oh, I am not Peter, I am pure soul. And soul is permanent, and it is in everybody, every living creature. And that is by third eye you can visualize. With this eye you cannot visualize the pure soul. So we have to open that third eye. And here you will get the same knowledge of pure soul. Suppose if you say, this is my body, then honor and body must be separate. Because belonging and honor must be separate. So what about your mind? What you will say, this is my mind or I am mind? You never say I am mind. So my mind, so again you have to separate I and my. My mind, my thoughts, my intellect. Ego comes in I or ego comes in my? Which division, which department? In my department. So you are separate from egoism also. Then my body, my speech, my wife, my children, my business, my job, my property, everything is my department. So what comes in I? Separate I and my. What comes in I? What comes in my? All these relative are temporary adjustment. And I is real, it is permanent. So we have to separate both the things, I and my. Then I is self, and it is called as a self-realization. You want to realize, suppose there is a ornament, gold, but it is never remain pure gold. It is mixture of gold, silver, copper, everything. So if you want to separate gold from other element, what you are going to do? What is procedure?
I have to make it clearer and clearer.
Purify. But you are going to do, or you will just surrender to goldsmith? Because he knows the property of gold, property of other element, how to separate. He has experiment, he has some chemicals. Layman doesn't do that things. Like here, when we want to realize ourselves, self-realized person, with the help of that person, we can get realization of pure soul. Same thing is possible over here also. And when you realize your pure soul, then you can visualize pure soul within everybody. That is third eye vision.
My life has been about finding God realization, searching for that oneness where I'm no longer me, and so my first understanding is that there is a separation from the divine, which is where the suffering comes, and so that there are two. There's me separate from the divine, and that is not oneness. And then now I understand there's another separation. So there's the second separation, whereas I separate from that which I think I am, and to become, I want you to clarify this for me if you could. So it's separation, then separation again to come back to oneness. Is that right?
Yeah, it is correct. What's your name?
Shava.
Shava.
That's just my name.
Yeah, my name. Your name is Shava.
Yeah. It's the body's name.
Body's name. Then who are you?
Right.
You says my body's name is given Shava. So who is the owner of this body, this name?
That's the divine. That's that divine piece of, that's the piece that is the divine that has come forth in this body.
So that is divine peace. Here is the name given to the body. Who are you to say this is divine peace and this name given to the body? Who are you to say this everything?
You mean the awareness of who I am?
Yeah, that is required. Because we have some words. There is some divine power inside that is full of bliss. This body, it is temporary. But we don't know exactly who am I and how to realize ourselves. What are the property of ourselves? How it is separated from this body? What is function inside this body? What you are doing inside this body? What you are doing inside?
Looking for God.
Hmm?
I'm looking for God. Looking for oneness. Trying, notice I'm efforting. There's an effort, there's action involved in wanting to go back to God, to have that full, functional God realization.
What's the function of God? What God is doing? What is the true address of God? You want to reach some place where the God is available. You must know the true address of God. No, suppose you want to come to this place, you must have address, directions. So what is the address of God?
My heart.
Your heart, where the attacks are coming, heart attack, surgery is taking place. It's pumping machine. Heart is nothing but a pumping machine of blood.
But is not the center of me, or the center of what I have manifest, this physical form, is that not God?
That is, if you know it is correct, then you must get result.
That's why I'm here. So is self-realization then God
Yeah.
realization?
So absolute I is a God. True address of God is in every creature, whether visible or invisible, not in creation. This is man-made creation, sofa, table, camera, light. There is no God inside. But living creatures, one sense, two sense, animals, birds, plantations, trees, and human being. There is a body, and inside there is a pure soul. Pure soul is a God, but when it is in absolute stage. Now the soul inside you, within everybody, but it is totally covered. So we can't experience our soul. So we have to break that all coverings. Then you will start experiencing pure soul. So that is first stage. Then all coverings goes away and you reach to absolute stage, then it is a God only. So science to get a realization of soul, who am I? How I am separate from this mind, speech and body. And Dada Bhagwan, he has got this realization in 1958. He want to know about this, what is universal truth? who is governing this whole universe, where is God, what's the function of God, how to realize God, what is true address of God. But in 1958, but naturally he got realization of everything. And this is called as Akram Vignan, stepless science to get realization of soul. There are two paths. One is step by step, step by step.
Yeah.
You have to do meditation, you have to do some chanting, mantra, worshipping God.
Yes.
Slowly you will to start this, you have to do something to get realization of soul. And there is another path, bypassing everything to get directly realization of soul. Like elevator, you want to reach to 12th floor, you have to go by step or by elevator. This is like elevator path. So in step by step you have to remove all this anger, greed, lust, pride, slowly.
Is confusion one of the things that drops, that goes away? Confusion about this path, my path to God. It seems like I get confused on my path to the divine,
because,
to self-realization.
Yeah, because you don't have a proper guide and guidance.
Now I do.
Now you got it. So there is no confusion, and you will get proper guidance, and you will reach to your destination of pure soul.
Thank you.
Because easiest way to for self-realization, who has realized, a enlightened person, he can enlighten your pure soul. Easiest way. Suppose you want to study suppose there is a kid, say for 3 years, we want to learn something A, B, C, D, 1, 2, 3. He can't learn himself. If you give pencils, some notebooks, he can't. So he will just make lines, but he don't know this is 1, this is 2. Somebody must realize him, this is 1, this is 2. So here is a teacher is required. Like here, self-realized person is required. So the grace of that self-realized person, you will also get realization of pure soul. Once you achieve that thing, then there will not be any confusion, no doubts. Here is the how to know who am I in this body. So Dada Bhagwan has given very basic philosophy. Suppose if you say this is my watch, so watch and honor must be separate. If you say this is my specs, so honor and spec must be separate. So what about your body? What you will say, this is my body or I am body? What you will say, Avinash? Oh, no, this is body, I am body. My name is Avinash, and you say I am Avinash. Is there contradiction between two sentences?
Yeah. There's no, when I said I am Avinash, there's an identification. There is an identification. My body is Avinash.
Yeah, name given to the body for identification after birth.
For a practical purpose, I can say I am Avinash to be practical, but I know that inside of me that I'm not Avinash.
So now we want to reach to real path. In worldly language, it is different thing. We want to know about real language.
Yeah.
Who am I? How to separate ourselves from all these relative parts. So suppose if you say, my name is Avinash, so you are honor of the name. Just name given to the shop. Honor and nameplate of the shop must be separate. No?
Yeah.
You got it? Yeah?
For a long time, I've understood, and again, this is more of a conception than what I'm learning from you is a much higher experience, that I am not this body, that the mind is something that is a tool and a gift that can be used in any number of ways, and it can also be very obstinate and controlling, and that the ego is not me, that it's also something that I have, it's a survival mechanism. But at the same time, this is this is my baggage, this is what I carry around with me. And to walk uphill carrying all that baggage, it seems like a very slow way to go. And also the techniques, the meditations, the kriyas, all of that are other forms of baggage. And so the idea in my world of moving to realization, self-realization, isn't just for me. I don't want this just for me. I want to be able to have an overflow where it will do something good for other people and for the world. And that maybe sound egotistical, or I don't know, maybe that's more baggage that I'm carrying too. But if God realization is self-realization, then I'd say the grace is flowing for me now. Thank you.
Yeah, God realization is a self-realization. What I am doing is the same thing. First, I remove my all bondages. Then I am helping everybody to remove their bondages. But first, suppose you are in worry, you are suffering, you are under stress, then how can you help other people? First, you must get bliss, you must get independency, you must get freedom within. Then only you can help others. You are bounded with anger, greed, lust, pride, ego. Then how can you help other people? So all worldly things are not really bonding us. But the anger, greed, ego, they are bonding us. And due to ignorance of self, by word we are knowing, oh soul inside, this is bondage, this is baggage, I am soul, or I want to realize soul. Only by word we are knowing, not by experience. And here you will get experience. But it's a very beginning stage. Just you want to become, say, doctor. So we are giving admission in college of doctor. But once you got admission, it is not you are not become a doctor. You have to learn, you have to study. Every year you have to go at least 300 days per year in college. Here we will say 300 hours per year. Hours, not days. 300 hours per annum you have to come in this college. Then you will be graduate within, say, at least 3-4 years. But you have to be in touch with us, because this is given knowledge by grace of Dada Bhagwan. So you have to, there are so many confusions, we are believing so many things. So each and every wrong belief should get fractured and get correct right belief. So whenever you comes in touch with us, you may ask some questions, your doubts are getting clear, then your experience will be more and more, awareness is more and more about pure soul. Again coming to the same thing, how to know who am I in this body. So what are just we are knowing I am not body, I am not mind, I am not ego, but exactly we want to separate all the things. How to separate? So now we are discussing theoretical. Suppose you say this is my body, so honor and body must be separate. So wherever you put word my, all belongings must be separate from honor. So we want to separate ourselves from all these belongings. So what are the belongings? My body, my speech, my thoughts, my intellect, my ego. And what about wife coming, I or my?
Yeah, the same thing.
Same thing means in I or my. It comes in my department, my husband, my wife, my children, my business, my job, my hobby, my ability, my meditation, my worshipping, everything is my department. What comes in I? My knowledge is also my department. The absolute I without my is pure soul. Now it is a mixture of I and my. Just in ornament, there is mixture of gold, silver, copper. If you want to separate gold from other element, what to do? What is procedure?
It's an alchemical process. What, you have to go through an alchemical process to
A
separate.
chemical process.
Yeah.
But you are doing or somebody else is doing. Gold.
Who is doing the process of separating?
You yourself can do. Just
No. What's
you will go to goldsmith. He know the property of gold. He know the property of other element. He has experiment how to separate gold from other element. And you will just surrender that your gold to ornament to goldsmith.
Yeah.
And he has experiment. He has experiment to separation of gold and other element. He has chemicals. He has all procedures. Everything. Because he know the property of gold and other element. Like here, we required self-realized person. He know the property of soul, property of other element, how to separate both the element. And Dada Bhagwan, he has realized his soul, and he has given same experiment to separate Avinash and yourself. So we are conducting that same Gnan ceremony tomorrow.
Yes. I have one more question. Can this awareness be maintained throughout, I'm sure, throughout life? What about in the moment of death? In the moment that we feel like we live in the body, can this awareness be present also?
Yeah, definitely.
Definitely.
More than what
even
we
than-
are experiencing now.
No.
It's after Gnan Vidhi, Gnan ceremony. At the time of that, more and more awareness will be there. You can remain fully separate from all this body, all these sufferings.
And seek guidance.
And you can experience, I am immortal and body is dying. I am not dying at all.
That's wonderful.
And this is called Samadhi Marana. Samadhi Maran. Once you achieve that Samadhi Maran, then there will not be again birth and death.
Yes.
Within 1 or 2 life, you will achieve salvation, liberation, nirvana.
This is about, I guess the best way to frame this would be the difference between Advaita and this path with respect to how thoughts are viewed. My experience has been that thoughts come in and out of awareness, and sometimes they come charged with emotions, and that my practice, if you will, has been to try to stay separate and observe them and sometimes feel them, and in the hopes that they'll, go. And that not a lot of effort is made out of focusing on the content of the thoughts and why did I have that particular thought. And now I'm seeing in this science that through pratikama, which I've been doing lately, I'm not viewing the thoughts as just a cloud that comes and goes, but I'm looking at it as karma that I'm responsible for, and I need to do something to help dissolve that. So there's a fundamental difference between trying to be pure awareness and not worrying about the thoughts, knowing they came and they're going to go, and now repenting when the thoughts come.
Yeah, it is main difference. And also, who is observing all these thoughts, it's not pure soul. It is a subtle stage of egoism only. Because my experience, I am observing, I don't want to do it. So he is doer. So it is not, so he is doing, he's by intellect. Ego is having intellect, and by intellect he He has knowledge, whatever he has read from books or some lectures or he studied, and he's trying to set that knowledge in what happened in thoughts or wrong speech or actions. But he's doing, doership remain as it is. And that's why it is not reaching to in the box of pure soul. It remains in the box of egoism only. So once you are doer, it is with intellect only. So one step more you have to go further. So beyond intellect, beyond ego, then only you will reach to real, true self. You understood properly?
Yes.
So,
Much as I can.
yeah, what's your name? Yeah, no, now it is by think or intellect. It is intellect, but his understanding is with intellect. But what's your name?
Jeff.
Jeff. So, in future, means after Gnan ceremony, you will experience, oh, Jeff is different and I am separate from Jeff. And whatever bad thoughts or bad speech or bad action is responsible, who is responsible for that? Not yourself. Jeff is responsible. And Jeff will do pratikaman, apology for your whatever he has done mistake. He will repent for that. You are separate from Jeff, and Jeff is, now you are within Jeff, and whatever you are saying, now we will separate you from Jeff, and you are observer of Jeff only.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.